Good morning, dear pupils. Today we're going to have our lesson as usual. Without forgetting that we stopped in Unit 2, which is Safety First. And the main elements in this unit, so they are consumers, safety, and advertising. If you do remember, last time we read the text about energy balance. I know maybe you forgot about the term. That's why I'm going to ask you to look at the following video. Tell me what is energy balance and how can we achieve it.
Today's video topic is energy balance, which simply put is when the energy we get from foods and drinks equals the energy our bodies use. You get your energy from all foods and drinks that contain calories, the unit in which energy is expressed. If the energy that we take in is equal to the energy we use, then the two sides will be in balance and we will maintain our body weight. If you live very actively and burn more calories than you consume, you will lose weight. On the other hand, if you lead a sedentary life and eat too many calories for that style of living, you are likely to gain weight over time. The best way to bring back and keep the energy balance at a healthy level is by moving. Small steps, such as getting off the bus a stop earlier to go by foot a bit longer, or taking the stairs instead of the elevator. Food-wise, you can use smaller plates to reduce the portion size and make sure 1/3 of your plate is filled with veggies, or snack on fruits or yogurt, with each small step leading to a healthier life.
Now, normally you have seen the video and you are able to define what is energy balance. So energy balance is when the energy we get from the food we make, or let's say energy is when energy balance. So energy balance is when the energy we get from the food we take equals to the energy our bodies use. Otherwise, we may say energy balance is achieved when the in equals to the out. And this way we will maintain our body weight. So in order to see what are these examples about, I would like you to imagine what will happen if the food we take is more than the exercise we take, or let's say when the exercise we take is more than the food we eat. What will happen in this situation? So let's analyze these examples and see what will happen. So as usual, task rewrite sentence B so that it means the same as sentence A. Let's see sentence 1. If you don't eat too much food, you will not put on weight. Second example. If she doesn't eat the wrong food, she will get energy. What do you think about this for today is about? Normally you have seen that if. So today we will speak about, yes, which is conditional. Today we're going to express conditional. Expressing condition. And today we're going to see a new subordinating conjunction, which is unless. If you can see, unless equals if not. So let's analyze the examples together. So if you don't eat too much food, you will not put on weight. What does the sentence express? We can see that the sentence expresses condition. Of course, you have two clauses. We can mention the first clause, which is if you don't eat too much food, and the second clause is you will not put on weight. So this is of course the result clause, and this is the subordinating conjunction. Sorry, the subordinating clause. Because it contains the subordinating conjunction. And of course, when we say clause, it contains only one verb. So you have don't eat, and you have will not put on weight. So please tell me the tense about this verb. Of course, it is in the present simple. And the second verb is in the future simple. Now, we will transform sentence A, or we are going to rewrite sentence B so that it means the same as sentence A. But this time we're going to use unless and not if. What do you mean by unless? Unless is the synonym of if not. When the sentence is in the negative form, we can see here that if you don't eat is in negative form, or let's say it's non-affirmative form. So this is negative, that means it equals unless. So unless is the synonym of if not. So what are we going to do here? So how are we going to rewrite it? So we are going to say unless you eat directly, okay, too much food, and of course we separate the two clauses by a comma. Normally we have seen this lesson before. You will not put on weight. If you can see here, what did I do? So the first clause is in a negative form, and this one is affirmative because the meaning of unless is negative. That means when you have a negative form, when you are going to rewrite it with unless, you are going to put it into affirmative form. Here, if it is negative form, you keep it as negative form. Let's analyze the second example. If she doesn't eat the wrong food, she will get energy. So we can see here that the first clause is in a negative form. As usual, we are going to transform it into positive, that means affirmative. And if you have affirmative, you keep it as affirmative because the if clause here is in negative form, which makes it equal to the second clause. So what are we going to say? So unless she, so here you have the present simple, we say eat with third person singular, we say eats the wrong food. Of course, we separate the two sentences and we keep it the same one. She will get enough energy. So you can see here, so if she doesn't eat the wrong food, she will get energy, which means unless she eats the wrong food, she will get energy. We have transformed the first one into affirmative because the meaning of unless is negative. So let's see the third example. So if you eat enough energy, we can see here that the sentence is in affirmative form. You will get energy is also in an affirmative form. Now we need to transform it into using another subordinating conjunction, which is unless. So when the sentence here is in an affirmative form and unless is negative, so what are you going to do? You're going to keep it the same. So what do we say? So unless you eat, if you eat enough food, what are we going to do with this? So the affirmative is going to be turned into negative form. So what are we going to say? You will not get energy. Is it clear? When it is affirmative, you keep it affirmative. That means we have no change. And here we need to change. If it is affirmative, we turn it into negative. Let's see the last example. So if she eats the wrong food, and here the meaning is positive, okay? That means it is an affirmative sentence. She will not get enough energy, and here the sentence is in a negative form. That means, so unless, when it is affirmative, there is no change. So if she eats the wrong food, she, what are we going to do here? So she will not get enough energy, so the sentence is in negative form. We need to transform it into affirmative form. Is it clear? So she will get enough energy. I hope everything is clear. I'm going to recapitulate for you. So you have sentence 1 and sentence 2. Let's say they are the same because here the if sentence, or let's say the if clause, is in negative form. That means we are going to transform it into affirmative with unless. And we keep the same result clause. If it is negative form, you keep it negative. If it is affirmative, you keep it affirmative. You don't change the result clause when the if clause in negative form. When the if clause is in an affirmative form, you need to transform the result clause. I'm going to repeat. If clause is affirmative form, you are going to change the result clause with unless. The result clause, if it is affirmative, you turn it into negative, and if it is negative, you turn it into affirmative. Now, dear students, we are going to move to the rule of our lesson for today, which is about expressing condition or expressing conditional using unless, if not, of course, type 1, which is using the present simple, the condition which is in the present simple, and the result of the condition is in the future simple when talking about real conditions. So, unless is an alternative subordinating conjunction that expresses a real condition, and this is when we speak about type 1 for sure, when we make a possibility in the future that is likely to happen. So, it has, unless of course, it has a negative meaning, often the same as if not, and this is what we have said when we analyze the examples together. Unless is the same as in sentences with if conditional type 1, I have just said this. It can be placed at the beginning of the sentences or in the middle of sentences. So we move to the form. It can be at the beginning of the sentence or in the middle of the sentence. And for sure, this is the subordinating conjunction. When we take the subordinating conjunction, we take the subordinate clause as it is. So that means unless it is followed by the present simple. When we put unless in the middle, we always start with the future simple. When we start with unless, the first verb is in the present simple, which is the subordinating clause, and the main clause or the result clause is always in the future. Now let's talk about the changes that we are going to use while replacing if with unless. We're going to talk about when the if clause is in a negative form. If the if clause in a negative form, we need to change from negative into affirmative form. And we are not going to change the result clause. If the result clause is in affirmative form, you keep the affirmative form. If it is in a negative form, you keep the negative form. Yes, when we are going to have the if clause is in an affirmative form, here we need to change, we need to keep it as it is, but we need to change the result clause. I'm going to repeat. When the if clause is affirmative, with unless we keep it as it is affirmative, but here we are going to change or reverse the result clause. If the result clause in the if is in an affirmative form, you transform it into negative, and if the if clause is in negative form, you transform it into affirmative form, and we say vice versa. So in general, when are you going to change? So if the if is negative, you transform into positive, but if it is affirmative, you keep it as affirmative. When are you going to change the result clause? You change it only when the if clause is affirmative. When the if clause is affirmative, you need to reverse the result clause. Normally, it is clear. Now, we need to move to practice. Now we move to task 1. Put the verbs between brackets in the correct form. If you eat rotten food, that means expired food, you to have a serious indigestion. You know that here the sentence starts with the if, that means the first verb must always be in the, yes, it is in the present simple, and the second verb is in the future. Nice, so what do we say? So if you eat rotten food, you will have a serious indigestion. We move to example number 2. So she not to earn enough money for her living if she to lose her sentence, we should always start by the future simple and then we move to the present simple. So, will not earn, very good. Will not earn enough money for her living if she, yes, if she loses the S for she, her job. He to play a football match tomorrow unless it to rain. We can see that the subordinating conjunction is placed in the middle of the sentence. That means we should start by the future simple and then we move to the present simple. So what do we say? So he, yes, he will play a football match tomorrow unless it rains. Very good. So here unless can be replaced by if not. So what do we say? We can say if it, negative form, if it doesn't rain. And here we get the synonym of unless. We move to the last example. So the children to use the swimming pool except if, only if they to be with an adult. So here you can see the subordinating conjunction is in the middle of the sentence. So of course we should start by the future simple and then we move to the present simple. So what do we say? So the children, yes, will use the swimming pool except if they to be. So here you have the present simple of to be, which is they are with an adult. So normally here we have applied what we have learned for today, but you still have another series of tasks which you need to go to the bottom of the page and select homework. You need to do the rest of the homework. Normally you have 3 activities that need to be submitted on Tuesday before 8 p.m. Thank you very much for watching this video and I hope everything is clear. And for sure, if you have any comments or if you have to clarify more things, just write your comments down this video. Goodbye and see you for the next video.